Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, and others, and neithers, and animals, and new listeners, and old listeners, and part-time listeners. And it's just not you looking at me as if this is not a good introduction.
It's good. I'm just checking the levels.
Oh, well, okay. This week's podcast, we talk about America and all the places we're looking forward to going to, I think. That's what we did. And then we also spoke about comedy for a fair bit. Talked about John Doe and Rory Scovel. And then Kai griped for a bit. And I played the middleman. And then...
Oh, I've got a fart brewing. Hold on. Oh, no.
You fell through?
Nah, it's fine.
All right, well.
I'm just going to keep it clenched in case I need to wipe.
Sloss and Humphreys on the road.
Muggins and cream and muggins, straight thuggin', living the dream.
And that's our intro.
Fucking muggles.
Tickling the clit inside your head that makes you laugh. They said it can't be done.
Are we in the same seats?
That's hack.
Ah, muggles.
Accidental rim job in the park.
Kiss.
Or am I just being cynical?
Muggled it up on fucking Mugglepedia.
Where have you been since 9/11?
Hello, mate. I've started.
Oh, sorry, I was taking a drink there.
Sorry,
But I did. It's not my fault. I did tell you could start, but
Aye.
I was
I was going to say I could have headed you up, but I did.
You did, and I just didn't take it on board, and I carried on with what I was doing anyway.
You're like, oh, didn't see you there.
Aye.
Like one of them intros. Didn't see you there, guys.
So I just have this fucking picking apples in an orchard. That's how John Doe opened up his set at the Comedy Store in Sydney. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. He just genuinely walked out on stage and just pretended to pick apples for 3 minutes, and then just went, "Oh hi, didn't see you there. I'm John Doe. Welcome to the comedy show."
Amazing.
So good.
Is that any special?
No, that was just live when I saw him. John Doe is one of the ones that's if nobody's ever seen all of his Conan spots, they're absolutely worth it. He's just this fucking guy that just likes doing like stand up that's just genuinely different. Every night he fucking likes fucking with the audience and stuff.
I know it's not the same guy, but who's that one with a day moon?
Oh, that's Rory Scovel. So him and Rory Scovel did 2 bits in Conan that were really, really
Because I was
good.
going to say, that sounds very similar thinking, so that's what led us
So
to think about him.
one set they did on Conan was Conan just came out and it was like, look, every week we have stand-up guests on this show. And in the 25 years we've been doing it, we've always gotten it right. We've given some breaks to the greats, but there's been a fuck up this week, and for some reason we managed to book 2 comedians for the same spot. This shouldn't have happened. I bear full responsibility, but the 2 comedians have graciously agreed to share their time tonight. So please welcome to the stage John Doe and Rory Scovel. And then they come out and they both just do 5 minutes of stand-up at the same time.
You know what? I think I've shown you this, but I just didn't know.
Aye.
I didn't think I'd seen Rory Scovel at the time, and I'm just hearing about John Doe now. So I've seen that.
Aye.
Not knowing it was those 2.
The other John Doe one is the one where he's doing a spot on Conan, and then halfway through somebody's just talking through his set, and it's Rory Scovel, and he's just like, they get into an argument because obviously Rory Scovel's been during his set, and John Doe's like, "Do you think this is easy? Like, do you think this is easy?" And Rory Scovel's like, "Yeah, I think that's easy. When you stand up there and you tell fucking jokes." And like, "Do you think what I'm doing is easy?" Like, as he's ushering in the crowd. And John Doe's like, "Yeah, I think that's fucking easy." And then they swap positions and they just start doing each other's bits. And then Conan and Andy, it's great. Everything John Doe has done on Conan has been fun.
I'm gonna get down the rabbit hole and look him up now, because when you start showing us the Rory Scovel stuff, the day moon, I've like
every Rory Scovel interview that he's done on the Pete Holmes show is the perfect introduction to Rory Scovel, in my opinion. But also Rory Scovel, there's nothing beats Scovel live. Like Cullen says, the best comedian he's ever seen live in his life.
Because he saw him on Ireland, didn't he?
Aye. When Rory Scovel in the room, like he just, man, it's like when fucking Stade's on his best form.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just because he's able to make every set just so fucking different and just put insane amounts of fucking in it. Like, apparently he did an entire set in Sydney Comedy Store where he walked on stage and like yanked the mic too hard out the stand, and the mic just went over his shoulder with a cord, but he just continued to do the set as if he didn't know that was happening.
So he accidentally done it?
Accidentally.
How do you, like, the amount of times I've taken a mic out of a stand, I don't know how you could even physically accidentally fall over your shoulder.
Well, maybe.
Was he purposefully trying to wrench it out for effect?
I think it was like in and then it went over. whatever. I mean, we'd have to.
Or like it was a bit stiff and then he pulled it and it was loose when he pulled
maybe
it.
the top just came off.
He accidentally became a catchphrase comedian on my Antigua holiday because me and Sop were just drunk as fuck, just like screaming at the moon all the time, just going, "Oi, get out of here! Sun's on deck!
You know that.
You don't see the sun coming up at night." But we just fucking played it to death.
That's what I think is very good about the Conan O'Brien show. It's just like there's no other TV show that would just let comedians fuck around with like a bit like that.
It's actually fucking amazing that they do, because I mean, you want to go on and kill it and do your best stuff because you've got so many eyes on you. So to use it to just fuck with a formula is quite like it's a bold thing to do. Like, it's really ballsy because you're not doing tried and tested. You're doing, even though it's a silly idea, you're doing new material.
Oh no! I think for both the 5 minutes at the same time, that was a bit that John Doran Scoville like did in comedy clubs. That would be like, that would be very funny at the Fringe. It would be like one of the morning shows.
Like on at Spank.
It
would be wasted at Late and Live.
Yes.
Absolutely wasted at Late and Live.
As is everything wasted at Late and Live. Like, don't get me wrong, some people are incredible at Late and Live. But, like, it's still all wasted. You get the best set of your life at Late and Live, it doesn't matter.
I love playing Late and Live because I found it totally achievable, but, like, you had to use tricks. You had to use tricks. You had to, like, really tailor your material to suit it. Like, here's a trick I used to do. I would not acknowledge the crowd as soon as I walked on, because it's a bear pit and the fucking, like, they don't really want you to do well.
No, they're there to watch you fucking. Not necessarily they're there to be cunted first and foremost.
They're fucking smashed. Some of them are asleep.
The show starts at 3 a.m.
Some of them are chatting. It's still ongoing at like 5 a.m. right? Like, I don't think it does start at 1, but like it's always running late. And it's still going at like 5. Fucking hell, I can't remember the timing right, but I used to like I'd gone on and I wouldn't even acknowledge the crowds there. Like, right on the stage, Kai Humphrey's not going on, I'd just talk to the comp there for a bit. Like, across the hour, like, I'd keep hold of him, just chat. And then, like, the way you started the podcast, like, oh, you're here.
Hello. I didn't see you there.
It just puts them a bit more in your hands. Because, like, you take the power away from them straight away when you're not empowering them. So you can play them.
I did Late and Live twice. I did once at like the Leicester Comedy Festival when I think it was 18. It was me, Craig Hill, and Tom Allen. And just,
how are you the guest on that bill?
Because they were both inside of me. That was the.
You were locked in.
Yeah, I was the middle guy.
They still had holes that weren't full.
I on the other hand, time of my life, and I owe it all to you. We were down there and just some fucking cunt in the front row. His heckle was just anytime I wouldn't heckle, wouldn't engage, wouldn't do anything, would just not laugh. But anytime I took a sip of water, he just went. And it was just the most off-putting thing in the entire fucking world. I tried to have fun. I ripped him for it. Audience laugh. I'm getting fucking ripped. Didn't throw him off his stride. He just kept fucking doing it.
That's hilarious.
From the bottom of my heart, and I mean this sincerely, and I have it on record. I fucking hope that man is dead right now.
Man.
And I think he is.
I've got a soft spot for him.
I would like to publicly acknowledge, Daniel Sloss, if you were that man, or your dad, or your brother, or your whatever, was that man at Late and Live at Leicester Comedy Festival in 2008, and he's dead, from the bottom of my heart, I'm fucking glad he's dead. Just if you pass that on to anyone that knows or loves him.
But it's excellent trolling.
But then, and what? So I'm also happy when trolls die.
I used to, I used to date my brother when he was eating a chocolate bar. I would go, like, when he took the bite, I would go, right? And then when he's chewing it, I'd be like, and then I'd watch for his throat going and go, and then, and do the gulp. And I'd just do his, like, whatever he's eating, just do the entire meal. You kind of just, like, start it and not finish it. But I used to like spoil full fucking food for my brother by doing the sound effects of him.
And that's why when you die, I'm pretty sure Gav will be thrilled that you're dead.
Yeah, probably would be. Actually, life insurance says he gets the flat. Fully paid for. Aye. Doesn't have to make another payment. It just says new.
Fair enough.
Fuck! I shouldn't have said that. Anyone tell Gav that?
Well,
nobody clip that and send it to Gav.
I don't think this is one of the podcasts he listens to.
I don't think so.
Well, I think...
And his gaffer sometimes does, like, Craig Johnson, who my mate from Concordia.
Aye.
So he's a sparky now, and Gav works with Craig. He listens to it sometimes.
Does he?
So, Craig, don't tell Gav that. Hello, mate. Don't tell Gav that if I die, he gets a hoose.
I'm pretty sure Gav... Maybe he doesn't. He's got a parent now.
Aye.
We met Baby the weekend.
I would did. Well, I've met Sonny before. Sonny is a proper bloke.
Aye, good bloke. Decent bloke. 6 months old.
6 months old.
Proper bloke.
Sharpens his crayons with a knife.
He's got a fucking anchor tattoo on his left arm.
He's fucking. He was kicking off. Mary was like, "Oh, he's whinging a little bit today." It's because his ACCA didn't come in.
It was actually because he saw the English players take the niche for BLM. Just a proper bloke.
His dad's called Brett, and he's got resting Brett face.
Aye.
Where he's just got Brett's just natural scowl about him.
It's
not a natural scowl. It's like it's just an inquisitive, like it's almost like a what you're talking about Willis face.
Yeah, Brett's always just waiting to just sniff out how full of shit you are.
Aye.
and Sonny's got that same thing about him, but you're like, but mate, you're the one that smells of shit. You're the baby.
Aye.
If anyone here smells like Jobby, it's you, Mr. Jobby Pants.
But he's absolutely class. Like I'm pals with that kid. Like,
you text him.
That's my bro. That like
he's like you like your message pals with him, and he sends you those messages, but it starts off normal, but it's just then loud screaming women in porn. He
sends that sort of stuff. He sends like as soon as I see the video. In fact, he sends his memes right, not even cropped. Not even cropped. The full screen cap of his phone.
ifunny.com in the bottom.
Aye. Good
bloke though.
Some videos I just won't open them. I'm like, oh, what's it gonna be? It could be a really funny meme. It could be a beheading. He's just one of them WhatsApp group hand grenade kind of guys.
I'm really glad
6 months.
I don't have any more of those friends anymore. Like those friends who send you like just the most fucked up shit in your WhatsApp group. I don't know if it's specifically a male thing, but I only have known it from male friends in the past. Those people bled out of my life gradually over the past 10 years, and the only ones in my life now are your friends.
Aye. And I'm in a WhatsApp group with specifically that type of people.
Aye.
And I was fucking brought a tear to my eye the other day because I like squaddies. That's how I ended up in a WhatsApp group, because it was one of the squaddies' birthday weekends. His 40th, and I went away. I'm still in the group. I met some of them on that weekend. Some of them I've known for a little while, right? And they had a welfare check the other day where they were just like, how's everyone getting on? He's all right. And I just like, my heart bled because like they didn't seem the type.
Aye.
You know what I mean? Like in a group full of comedians, you're all arty wankers.
Yes.
But you know, people that are bred to be men. Aye. And they're fucking pushed out at the age of 16 to fight. Aye. For their flag. Right? For them to do a welfare check, I was like, that's like softening stone. That was nice to see. That is where.
Well, I reckon they've been through way more shit than we have.
I guarantee they have. But like they're hardened by it. But I just think that it's testament that like the whole awareness of mental health is actually getting through, because they're the type of blokes that would have previously said, "Pull yourself up by your fucking bootstraps," and they're still making some occasions.
Oh yeah.
They're still making some occasions, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like
because there are times when you should pull up your bootstraps and fucking get to it, and then there's other times when you welfare check.
Aye. And they did a welfare check, and everyone was just like, "Aye, I'm doing alright. I'm at Graft this weekend, but I've got my feet up and all that."
Why the fuck are you in a group of squaddies then?
Huh?
Why are you in a group of squaddies?
Because I can bang.
Well, they just saw you play Call of Duty really well once. As if that's ever fucking happened.
I camped with my parents back on once, and they're like, he could probably...
he can bang with us.
He could probably bang with us. Like, he could probably fucking put up a base on the Khyber Pass. You know what? I could have quite.
What would you if conscription came round again? What would your excuse for not joining be?
Well, I've got an affinity for these guys because that would have been my life. I walked into the office.
Oh, did you?
I walked into the office, right, and I wanted to be an air load master actually for the RAF. That was me.
What?
Air load master, like putting the weapons on aeroplanes and that.
Oh no, okay.
I think that's what it was anyway. Like just working.
You want to be a support act for planes?
Aye. I knew I didn't have the chops to be a pilot. You need like a degree in that. I think you have to go in at officer level.
My dad wanted to be a pilot, but he was too tall and also blind.
Aye, well, that was my letdown. So I tick the boxes of
Bong
things.
eyes.
I tick the boxes of things I'd like to do, like me choices, and then like stuff that if that's not available, I still want to fucking sign up, right?
Yeah, okay, right.
So
Your number one was Transformer, obviously.
Aye.
You want it like that's the one. Then you want to be Tom Cruise and Top Gun for some reason, even though it's a shite movie.
And then Goose.
And then a goose, just because you know what.
And then a silly goose.
which at this point in my answers you could tell I'm being anyway.
I was like, I wouldn't mind being a sideways in a missile.
I can make the noise.
And then I was like, I'll be a flare.
I've got the genes. Just send me up in the air. I'll let you know where the drowning people are. They're beneath me.
So what I did, they sent us for an eye test. So that was the next stage, right? And then you have to send your...
And how did that go?
They said I could be an Apache pilot.
Actually, they didn't say you could be a patch-eyed pilot. Is that not what that was?
Patch-eyed pilot. The name of this podcast.
A patch-eyed pilot. There we go. Wait, they said you could be an Apache?
No, so that's because they can make their eyes move in separate directions.
Oh, can they?
I didn't have. That's one of them Kentucky Fried myths.
It sounds like... Wait, are you... Wait, there's a... So... Apache pilots have chameleon eyes. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm bred to believe. That's what I've been propaganda to believe, that they can separate
You know what? They
their
might
eyes
be able to, man. I don't
know if this is true. I know this to be true. I don't know if it's true. It's just like, you know how I know it to be true that SHIT is an acronym for ship high in transit, because they put the manure above deck.
Aye.
Because it would fumigate below deck, create methane gas, and it would be flammable.
What high in?
Ship high in transit, so it doesn't get put below decks.
Aye.
So that's what I know to be true. Might not be.
Aye.
Right, I know to be true. It's just I've heard it, I like it, it sounds good, I repeat it. Apache pilots can make their eyes work in separate directions.
Fair enough, I did. Well, I'm glad we explained the reference there.
So that was the joke. But I was bung-eyed. I hadn't had my squint surgery at the time.
Aye.
So they sent us to the opticians. And
you walked into the butcher's.
I'll have a ribeye, please. So even way back, the reason I didn't apply for pilot wasn't just because I didn't have a master's degree, right? I remember I was fucking 7 years old or something, right? And I'm in the Brian English's opticians, and another bloke, another guy's name, Brian English. A 7-year-old boy I was.
Aye.
Fucking had the thing, I used to do jokes about this. He had the torch in my eye, and he's like, so what do you want to be when you grow up? And I went, I want to be a pilot. I wanted to be a pilot.
Aye.
I didn't like aircraft modelling, air fixing, and all that. Fucking love me aeroplanes. I want to be a pilot. He went, not with them eyes. Spat his tea in my face.
That's what you meant, actually. It was hot tea spat in your face. Not with these eyes.
The eyes were perfect at the time.
I have nothing wrong with them. I was just going to turn you into the Blythe version of Daredevil.
He was a cockpit block.
It
was clunky, wasn't it?
It was.
It worked.
Well, because also I thought you were going like cock-eye block.
Cock-eye block. Cock-eye pit block. It gets clunkier.
It
gets clunkier with every word I add. It's a bumpy road.
Falling down the stairs on the way to a punchline. Hope there's one there. Hope this isn't an escalator that's going upwards.
So I took my eye test results into the RAF.
And they said, well, you brought your birth certificate.
Yes.
Why have you brought in 2 Nuts magazines?
These make you go blind. The fuck, you know how I had the later file, the things ticked what I wanted to do.
Aye.
They sent us back with a list of stuff ticked that I could do.
Aye.
You know the list?
Was there any crossover?
Chef.
You're not a chef.
Make their breakfasts and that. Make breakfast for people that can see.
I just ask them what flying's like. What do the planes look like in the class? You take a picture on your phone, bring it back through to me. Aye. Aye, extra eggs, no worries. Sir.
How do you want them? Scrambled like my eyes. So I just think I didn't go for it. I was like,
do you reckon you'll do what my dad did? My mum. No.
maybe right.
No, do you reckon you'll do... Because my dad couldn't get into the RAF because of his eyes and because of how fucking tall he was. And then later on in life, now he's got his pilot license now, and he spent years going out and doing that stuff and doing all the exams and stuff later on in life when his eyes were, after he's had like laser eye surgery, and once they made cockpits for people bigger than 6 feet, he was like, well, now I can learn to fly.
Yeah, you can just fly recreationally.
Because my mum's against it, because my dad's like, ever since I've been young, right, before any, I was successful or anything, my dad was just like, when you're older and richer, you buy me an airplane. Like, when I'm retired, just buy me an airplane. And my mum's like, do not buy him an airplane. Don't do that. And it was always just like a joke about that, because I was obviously never going to grow up to be rich and famous. Turns out.
You owe your dad an airplane.
Well, and my mum's like, don't, like, he will kill himself. And I'm like, but what a way to go, though.
That's about the way to lose your dad.
A skyfire, right? Like, come on. As long as he doesn't...
He hit a commercial jet, killed 300 people. You're like, that's me dad.
He'd like it. No. I think he would like to. When I say kill himself, he wouldn't intentionally crash it. He would just crash it. Like, it's not.
That's why I've never had a motorbike, because like I've crashed most things I've been on. You know, like I've crashed a car and I've crashed a jet ski.
There's no way you should be. I've crashed too many things. I shouldn't be taking riskier things.
Yeah. I've done quite a bit of flight time. I've flown quite a bit. In my youth.
Because you were a space cadet.
It's a flying fairy, they call this. Can you believe that? Do they call us that?
What, people on the street?
Hi, anybody? Flying fairy?
But that wasn't the slur. That was the...
No, that was the slur.
Oh, right, okay.
Because I think that was just like what the army called the RAF.
Flying fairies.
Because I'm inherently homophobic while simultaneously really close to other men.
But also, like, they all make fun of each other. Like, the RAF make fun of the Navy, and the Navy make fun of the... There is that, and then everyone makes fun of the... Whatever, it's just the fucking...
The TA.
Aye.
What was it they call them? SWAT, some weekends and Tuesdays. The SAS, Saturdays and Sundays.
I've met.
So that would have been my life had my eyes been appropriate. So like I think like have an affinity for guys that lived that life, because I was like I thought I knew what I wanted to do as a child.
Aye.
And it was go and serve the flag.
God save our gracious Queen. Reckon they'll change the song?
You know what? That song. It's
one of the worst national anthems in the world. And by the way, America, if you're listening, you are also up there. Please, I don't want any Americans laughing at me giving England shit here for having a really bad...
What's their Star Spangled Banner?
Oh, God, it's fucking appalling, man. And they stand up at sports games and they put their hands across their chests and they cry. Grown men cry. They weep. They all sing it. They're all fucking... Before any sports game. You fucking imagine before a fucking Sunderland Newcastle match... All right, we're all going to start singing "God Save the Queen." Fuck.
Two institutes you hate: religion and the monarchy.
Like, we're absolutely not doing that. Go fuck yourself.
For the association with football, I feel something.
Oh, of course.
With the national anthem, I feel something. But
when the camera pans down all your players and they're nervous and you're like, you're all going to fail me, but at this moment in time, you haven't.
And like that, I feel something with that song. It means something to us. But like, I can't look closely at it. It just has to be vaguely on my periphery.
And it's look, all national anthems are inherently shit just because like it's just
nationalism's inherently shit.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah. Well, in some, when it's utilised wrong, I think having a bit of national pride is like good. I think you should be proud of where you.
Did I tell you about the? I was reading a Tim Marshall book. You know, who wrote Geographical Prisoners of Geography. That's the one. He wrote one about walls. I can't remember what it's called. Something about building walls or something. Tim Marshall, good author.
No, Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. It was Trump. Tim Marshall. Fucking easy mistake to make. Just white boy names, isn't it? So the difference between patriotism and nationalism is patriotism is love for your country with respect for those of others. People of other countries. Nationalism.
Oh, so no American patriots are patriots.
Nah, they're nationalists.
Right.
So nationalism is love for your country with contempt for those of others. So
I've definitely got a tiny bit of nationalism.
Scotland, you're quite nationalistic in that your contempt is all directed at one other country.
Yeah, it's not all other countries. Love Ireland, love Wales. Don't love Wales. Enjoy Wales.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I do. Yeah.
So like the difference between patriotism and nationalism is it largely hinges on whether you're respectful or contemptuous towards people from other bodies of.
So most people that would say they're patriotic are actually nationalists.
Yes. They're hiding under the love for their country, when really their main thing is the contempt for others.
Aye. That's very interesting. Didn't know that distinction.
And
Scottish national anthem, cracking. I like the extra verses in there.
I love it's the flower of Scotland. The flower of Scotland is a nettle. Called a thistle. But like if I fell in those, I would go cry to my mum saying I fell in nettles, ma'am.
Aye, they have.
She would be like, I think you'll find that's a thistle.
Yeah.
I'd be like, man, the prickle the fuck with it. Just sympathy, please.
There was no way the flower of Scotland was going to be traditionally beautiful, since Scottish people are not traditionally beautiful.
I was about to be like, you're talking about my wife. I was like, and yours. And your mum.
Aye. No, like you get some very good looking Scottish people, but it's like you notice them, like they stand out. Like remember we used to, and this isn't a great thing, we used to have the term Scotland goggles, right? Which is you'd go up in Scotland and you'd be like, you know what, the women in Scotland are actually fucking beautiful. And by the way, Scotland goggles works for all genders, of course it does, right? Girls get it the same as guys, but you go up and you look and like, man, people up here are quite fucking attractive.
A perfectly okay looking person looks amazing.
Up here, they look really, really good. Whereas if they were down in fucking Spain or they were over in America or other parts of the world, you'd be like, oh, right, you're just average.
What was I'm gonna butcher a Mickey Bartlett line. I hate doing this to their comments, but Mickey Bartlett was like, I don't know if he does it everywhere or if it was just in Scotland, but I saw it in Scotland. He was like, there's some really good looking people around here, it really is. But I tell you what, man, when you guys are ugly, you fucking mean it.
You do get some rollers. We've not got strong to get. Nay. So that's why our flower was obviously going to be a fucking wee ugly prick.
Do you think it's just a self-awareness that you just have like a prickly?
Well, no,
it's hard to get rid of.
No, I think it's because it is kind of like it's got colour. It's got a little bit of colour, but it's got like dark colour. So you have to look for the beauty in it.
There doesn't need to be much nutrients in the soil for it to grow.
No, it's resilient. It's always doesn't matter what the weather is. It's going to be there. Like it's not like you still see it during the fucking winter months. Like it's good, and I'm trying to think what national anthems apart from the Scottish one I know that are class. I kind of like I think I like the French one.
How does that go?
I can't remember.
Sacre bleu.
Be careful, we're going to Paris in fucking January, mate.
You better learn the words. Are we going to Paris in January? Oh, we're doing that gigging.
Aye. Well, I mean, we've not announced it yet, so nobody tell anyone. But...
don't tell Gav. Just keep this whole podcast from Gav. What happened is the stuff that were kind of announced. You know the thing we were talking about the other day?
What?
That the girls are going to come to.
Portugal?
No, they're coming to that, but like later on in the year, maybe.
Oh, America?
Can we talk about that?
Oh, well, in the sense that, well, we go to America at some point. We know, October and November-ish. Don't know where yet. The dates are being finalised. But...
So it's all just like in the speculative phase, or it's in the planning phase. So that'd be fucking...
Maybe we should be, maybe I'll get a text after this, from Marlene and be like, you shouldn't have spoken about that. But, I mean, she never does.
But let's just say hypothetically, right, at some point we're going to come to America again.
Aye.
And we're talking to the girls about coming out. Now, they've always visited when we've been at, like, LA... or New York or whatever, but we want to give them like a more eclectic view of America. So like, if we were looking for a bracket, based on our experience in America so far, if we were looking for a bracket of places for the girls to experience, what would be your dream team?
Do I have to have any place I get to pick? 3, 5?
Let's pick, say if they're coming for like a week to 10 days, but we're going to try and factor in a few days off as well. So in these places, we're going to do the gig, but we're also going to spend some time there. So let's say 5 gigs over 10 days.
5 gigs over 10 days. All right, okay. Denver. In Colorado, because it could be in Colorado.
Because you could do Denver and Boulder.
Denver and Boulder in 2 days, and those are both fucking great. I love. I always talk about how much I love Colorado. Those would be class. Then also you've got to do like they do have to experience Texas.
Texas, we've got to do it.
But I want them to experience. Well, I want them to experience.
If I had to pick one, Austin. But I don't know how much that was just because it was the first place I landed on the tour. And we spent a few days there, so I got to know the place. I didn't spend as much time in Dallas or Houston.
Dallas was I loved Dallas, and Dallas would be the other one I would stick on there. So for me, it would be Austin and then Dallas. Like even the fucking show. I remember that Dallas show. The Houston show was the one in that blues club where it was a bit fucking weird, and they played my fucking intro without even telling us there was clearance.
The House of Blues in Houston.
Yeah. So that was there, and that was a great gig, and then we went fucking.
Neil, our tour manager, was just in a bit of a huff with the venue because it was every gig had been so slick, and then that one had been a bit tricky, hadn't it? Just for every step
just
of it.
As much. So that was still a great gig, but the Dallas one was one where I was just like. The Dallas one, the venue reminded me so much of where we played in Munich, and the audience was just unreal. Like I remember being on stage in Dallas and just thinking to myself, I might record a special here. Like that's how good a crowd they fucking were. So I'd love them to see that. And
I love the Philly crowd, me.
Aye.
Like Philadelphia was great as a city. I don't know if I'd put it in the top 5 to take the girls.
Them fucking cheesesteaks.
The cheesesteaks were meant, and we did.
But like absolutely, legitimately lived up to the fucking like how you queue for a fucking hour.
Aye.
And it's
so like food wise as well. That's another reason to gotta go to Texas because like it was a Terry Black's barbecue.
I mean, just all the barbecue.
Any of the barbecues.
And they'll disagree. They're like, there's better places than others. But when you come from this country and you experience American barbecue, it so greatly surpasses what we know as barbecue that it's all just godlike to us.
I think we should take them to New Orleans if we can.
Yeah, New Orleans is definitely
because we got to witness it without immersing myself in it. Because we had like a 4:00 lobby call or something. We're walking down the street at like 1 a.m, like knowing that we're going to get picked up any minute. So we couldn't really let loose.
I mean, we still did. We got fucking.
We
got 2 hours sleep.
But it was like it just felt a bit like we dipped our toe into New Orleans, and we're like, we've got to bring the girls back here.
Normally, I would say both LA and New York, but since we've done those with the girls, so not so those. Yeah. So that's all. They're not.
So that's what I mean.
They're not in. Fucking. Madison. I always loved Madison, Wisconsin.
Madison, Wisconsin.
Mike Malloy was with us there.
Yes.
We couldn't get in the hotel at the start, and then there was the whole entire hotel had a fucking power cut, and then we did the gig, but it was really good. But then we went to the barcade afterwards. And
this could be any gig.
No. But it was the big 8-player bar. Remember that big fucking team thing?
Yes.
The 12-player one where we're all like bees and stuff. That one. That was Madison, Wisconsin.
Right. Class. Because we're saying they're a dream team, there is going to be places that that are going to slip in there that they might not have went to.
There's also
by choice.
Hopefully there's going to be some places that we've not fucking been to.
Yeah.
Washington.
I never done Washington.
Oh,
you were out there.
The synagogue there. That was a fucking great gig. They were really, really good there. Mind you, I don't not like Washington as a city, but it's just like compared to San Diego. There you go.
San Diego, fucking yes.
And as an audience, like.
And you've still got so much to see in San Diego because you were fucking goosed when we got there. Goose, that's where the Top Gun bar is. That's the bar where they sing.
Oh yeah.
That's in San Diego.
Yeah, we spoke about this.
So I fucked off on Balboa Park on a scooter.
Stolen scooter.
Stolen scooter. And I didn't get to the zoo. We spoke about this fairly recently, I feel.
Oh, we did.
I don't know if it was on the podcast. I just not. Anyway.
It probably was, since that's the only time we talk.
That is true. We did have a big conversation about mental health the other day, though. I was looking for the cameras and I was like, is this recorded, is it?
Was that backstage? Yeah.
Wait then, let's talk about this, right? Hold on. So San Diego put on, and if I was to pick a fifth, I'd probably pick Nashville. Because I think it's a bit more of a spectacle for them. It's a bit more of a tourist. Like, I feel like that's a good, like... whiskey bars and there's like country music on. And
and it was fucking weird as shit.
Cowboys with their thumbs in their belt loops tapping their heel.
Where else? There was definitely other places in the fucking... Middle, I liked. I just can't remember other places. Oh, Chicago was good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Chicago.
Chicago was the one where
I would like to give them deep dish pizza and just go, look how fucking shit this is, and this is what they all talk about.
The thing with Chicago is it felt stabby. It felt like Sucky Hole Street.
But it's not even stabby, mate. It's shooty. It's worse.
It's worse.
It's worse. It's rocket launchery and grenade.
That was one where we went, because it was a Friday night.
Aye.
You know, we went to go out on a Friday night, and we kind of were like, it's a bit feral. It's a bit feral for like how like we weren't on that level, we weren't that drunk. And we're like, everyone's on that big night out here, but everyone was like hanging outside bars, and it seemed a little bit like.
But later, did we not go?
A bit of a backdrop of sirens and that.
Aye. So did we not go in Chicago?
I think like we went into the arcade bar and it was just way too busy. We couldn't really like get moved. We like walked to the back of it and see if like there was a bit more space and come back out. And we didn't really stay out, I think.
God, you know in that Alex Ferguson documentary that we watched the other day on Amazon Prime that is excellent, and the whole point of the documentary is him, like he had a brain aneurysm, and when he woke it, he was just immediately like, I'm not my memories. Like I want to make sure I've got all my memories. Like it was so important to him. Fucking, I reckon I've lost that.
Oh yeah, like hang on, but how much are we expected to be able to remember when our life's just such a like fucking like you're picked up from one location and put down in another,
I know,
and you've got to try and differentiate, and then that's like over the course of one tour, and then do that over 11 years.
But had we not been drunk and stoned the whole time, I guarantee we would remember way more.
Oh, aye. Sometimes you can, I feel like people can just relate from forgetting stuff on a night out. So if you're like getting drunk and stuff, that said, this podcast will be fucking belter for listening back to in years to come. You know, if you just pick one and
I always think about that when you die. This will be how I grieve.
Or just
Listen
fucking
to this,
listen to all the jokes that I stepped on. It'll just stop you from grieving. Okay, I'm glad he's dead.
I'll just sit down there by the river with a bottle of whiskey, just cry, just listen to old podcasts of you absolutely snapping at my jokes while Cullen cries beside me, just reading through all the pointless arguments you've both had on WhatsApp conversations.
Oh mate, he's like he's on a revolving door in a WhatsApp group. Like he's fucking in and out. He keeps storming out and slamming the door in a WhatsApp group, then coming back in like one more thing.
You can't fire me, I quit. We didn't. You're like a cat. You come in and out. We just feed you some days.
He left. He had an argument with us in a football WhatsApp group, right? Left, and then like 2 days later, I sent us a DM that if I measured it with a tape measure, it would have been about a yard long, with no punctuation, just to make sure that we're cool in real life.
Which is good.
It is good. It was good. I really felt for him because I was like, to me, that was just a petty argument in the WhatsApp group. I was being pretty vocal about him though. I was being pretty vocal about how much of a cunt I thought he was being. Because I was like, fucking. Because I was like, he taxed you like a troll. He taxed you like a Twitter troll.
You take this is where you be different on this. You cannot say somebody's tone in text is anything. There is no tone in text. Any tone you take, like. It's implied. Like any tone you take, you chose to take it that way.
Yeah.
It's. I don't get wrong.
Like,
you can read things wrong, and sometimes the tone that you guess is correct. But
so he'll come at it vitriolic, and I'll go back at it vitriolic, and it's like, and it just feels like there's no respect going in either direction.
Why would there be? You're both arguing about fucking football.
It makes stuff a bit humorless and a bit more personal.
That's what me and Ellie used to argue before we both became much bigger stoners and stopped caring. I
can't say. I think he's like a keyboard warrior because like there's no way that he'd say the fucking words that I said there. Like
he
to in
absolutely would say
person.
it to your face. And then you'd hear the tone he was actually saying it in, and you'd be less angry.
Maybe. But he does have a problem. He's identified that he's got a problem with that because he's hitting nerves with so many people. Because the thing is, like, I'm looking for the jokes in it and I don't see any. I'm like, this isn't even bad.
But obviously you don't see the jokes in it when you don't have a sense of humour in the situation. Like, you can show me, if I'm in a bad mood and you show me Bull Burnham, I'm not laughing for the entire fucking thing.
So I sent us a big long message and all that. I was like, I can't come in. I saw him the day and I was like, I've come to collect me wins.
I think that went up properly during lockdown. Just the amount of apologies in the world that just went out, because I imagine so many people were short with each other. People who had only apologized once a year for like 10 years went up to like fucking 50 a month, like just because like everyone's been in this. Well, it's depends in the world where you are in the world, but because of the fucking pressure of the last fucking year and a half of lockdown, of being locked in, of people just fucking snapping, and as we've said, being much more open about mental health problems and stuff. I think the amount of the apologies in the world has absolutely increased.
Yeah, everyone's skin got thinner.
Aye, everyone's skin got thinner, but I also think empathy got a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Because I think so many people came off social media for prolonged periods of time because they were like, this is not going to help with anything.
Yeah, aye. And I mean, I feel like if you're spending a lot of time on social media in the current climate, like you're gonna be in a bad headspace.
Well, it's also it's the reason why social media, and that includes fucking WhatsApp. Like all of these are very, very. They're convenient ways to communicate with people, but they're terrible ways to communicate with people because, like,
a lot of it's body language and tone.
90% of conversation is in fucking facial expressions, man. So you're beside each other and you know what each other are fucking saying. Like, it's so crucial to how we communicate and how we develop conversations. Like, you have to be able to see someone to talk, otherwise you're just fucking, guessing. It's the reason people are cunts online is because we cannot see each other's faces, right? If I'm sat with you right now, right, and we're having an argument about something, right, and I go, "You're a fucking piece of shit," right? Even if it's just like a micro expression.
Even if you just see me to be disheartened and drop it, you change your tone.
Yeah, this is.
But if I'm behind a screen and I compose myself and call you something back, you'll just come back twice as hard.
And because we're not seeing any of this in the face, and we're not hearing any of the fucking, the straining in the fucking tone, or being, because we're looking at each other being like, "Oh, you're not arguing with me about this. You're arguing with me because things are bad over here, and now I get it, and because I'm with you, I can empathise, I can look at the situation you're in, and I remember that we've had a conversation before this about how your mum's sick, or you're worried about finances, or fucking whatever." All of that comes in face-to-face conversation, and then you're in fucking WhatsApp, and it's just you don't know.
It is as well. Like, I shouldn't have bet I would call him, because I've been sat here when I was living with him for 3 months, right? I would be sat here, and I'd be in a WhatsApp group watching him arguing blind with Matty, right? And I'd see it dawn on him that he's wrong. And he'd be like, "Oh, fuck, I didn't even think about that." And then I look at my phone, and he's still fighting his corner. And I'm like, this is driving Matty insane, because he knows you're wrong. And he doesn't know that you know that you're wrong. But you're still going because you can't see a face and just go, like, and that I can see for Matty, I'm like, that's really time consuming for him, and that's taking energy. And all it takes is coming again, "Actually, I've been a dick. I went in too hard about something I knew nothing about."
But also, but then also the responsibility's on the other side. You can't get annoyed if you don't let people annoy you. Sorry. I said while being annoying.
while scrunching a Velcro into the mic on a podcast.
I'm just a fidget. And until they come out with the silent fidget spinners, there's nothing I can do.
Did you buy a fidget spinner?
No. I played with plenty. Like, whenever somebody else had one, I'd be like, "Oh, that's pretty." Hammy, because Hammy. He's a big fucking nerd. He had like really, really good like fucking metal ones that he'd found on the internet, because he knows the best like corners of the internet to find niche little fucking things. I just remember being stoned at his and just like, I get it. Like, if I was,
it's twiddling your thumbs.
Aye,
it's just mechanised twiddling your thumbs. I used to like having a yo-yo with a clutch. There was a big phase where they come out.
Where you could do the fucking tricks with it,
and you whap it down and it keeps spinning at the bottom.
Aye.
I used to have one of them when I was a kid.
I think the best I ever got to was I could do the
catch cradle.
Yeah. Is that what it's the triangle?
You make a triangle and they swing it through. You just need to make sure it's still spinning.
God, that was cool.
Walk the dog. You could do walk the dog.
Yeah. We could do Pokemon, but that was just we'd spin it and then just throw it at each other.
What are that like things? What like fad things? Obviously the Tamagotchi pet.
Pokemon cards. Pokemon
cards. Oh, we've got stickers. We've got Euro stickers.
We do.
They've been like the omnipresent thing of like a carry around with you.
Do you mind in that we spoke about this the other day? But do you remember that back in the days,
Pogs,
when you could win prizes in crisps,
and
when you used to get your fucking prizes
in
cereal boxes, man. Like, I know people died, but come on.
Did people choke on them? Like,
probably. It must be. That must be the only thing that happened.
Why
else would they take that joy away?
Even if it like passed the standard, it would probably get like pulled on the single-use plastic type thing now, wouldn't it? Like, there would be another reason to not do it. There's probably a multitude of reasons. putting plastic in with your food. I don't know. I would still put them in.
I remember during the 1998 World Cup, right? There was in packets of fucking Walker's crisps, whichever ones. There was little fucking football shields, and it was just the starting 11 from each fucking team, and it was only in like 1 in 20 crisp packets, so it wasn't common, but it would be a genuine like fucking Willy Wonka's golden ticket thing. I'm like, oh fucking hell! And this is in the days before fucking Amazon Prime and stuff, so you'd literally gone to the fucking corner shop yourself. I remember the two little old ladies who used to work there would be in there buying fucking Monster Munch every for like fucking 15p. God, I sound old. Oh God, I'm gonna have to stop. I'm not even like reminiscing. I've just heard myself, and I'm like, where do I recognise this? I'm like, oh, this is the stand-up I hated when I was 18. I'm just doing the stand-up. All these fucking old cunts.
What was it I used to get in the cereal? It was like, I remember the Kellogg's. You would get reflectors that you put on your bike.
The one point there was Pogs and crisps, man.
Can you remember the more tantric collect the tokens and you sellotape the tokens to the coupon? So you get like a cereal and you get like the coupon on it and there's tokens on the back, like say the Weetabix, right? Yeah. And you get like the 2 of the tokens, but then the next time you get a box of Weetabix, you get the tokens of that one as well and put them in. And you get like kind of bigger prizes like that you wouldn't normally get with the Kellogg's. It was like these cars, like they were like kind of classic cars or like old tea trucks from the 50s and stuff. But they were like models.
I do remember having to send away for stuff occasionally, but I don't know if I remember. I
think Tetley's did it. They had all, like the Tetley's characters.
Aye, they did.
They called Stanley and Sid and that.
Aye, and they were all like on fucking keychains or stuff.
Aye, like kind of like plasticky rubber type of.
I guess the only thing that's like that nowadays is like the fucking compare the meerkat fucking dolls that you get from an insurance company.
Aye, is that merch? Are they not just selling them? Or is that like free with you've got to redeem it?
I don't know, but that's a really, really bad sign of fucking capitalism when, like, your infant child that should not know what taxes is asking for the mascot of an advert
for insurance.
Like, that's just horrible peak level capitalism. We need to burn it. Like, if you have bought your child that fucking meerkat, obviously in your head you think that's good parenting, they're happy, but that's not a good sign of the times that we're living in.
When we talk about we've had this conversation on and off the podcast throughout the last 6 years.
Like having fucking Ronald McDonald on your chemo bag, man. It's like, why is this sponsored? Like, this shouldn't be fucking crossover.
So the thing about what I would do now that is going to be looked back at as abhorrent when we're a generation ahead. Like you look back and go, oh my God, they used to hit children, right?
I think.
Oh my God, they used to send children to work. You look at that. I think we'll be going, oh my God, we used to advertise to children.
Aye.
Like that is something where we're like, no, we used to influence tiny minds to get them to nag their parents to spend money.
Aye.
Fuck off.
I agree that we should get there, but we won't, because those kids will just grow up and be absolutely fine with it, and we'll all eventually, the opposite will happen. We'll all just not see anything morally wrong with it in the future, because...
when they go like, oh, my dad used to hit me and I've turned out all right.
No, you don't.
That stuff. You're like, no, you're booing someone taking the knee, you're an angry man. Also, you grew up angry.
My parents hit me and I turned out absolutely fine. No, you didn't. You think it's okay to hit kids. Like, your existence is proof that it doesn't work well. I had a point, what was I saying?
So if you want to backtrack, my point was about the advertising to children.
Things that we think are going to be fucking looked back and frowned upon in the future. Man, the internet.
Mm-hmm. So what's social media in general, or
absolutely. There will be a point in the future where we just be like, man, we should not have allowed people that much fucking freedom. The anonymity. Nobody should have ever been allowed that much anonymity.
Nobody should be allowed to be that vulnerable to.
Aye. How we communicate with each other. Like there was no there's no way we should have been allowed to just directly communicate with each other with and just say whatever the fuck we like. That should never have been allowed. Like, of course it shouldn't have. That trope is insane.
I was talking to Mark Nelson a couple of podcasts back about when there's a lot of eyes on you once, there's a primal thing that kicks in that makes you feel like that you're going to be attacked and going to become food, and that's why a lot of people are scared of public speaking, because the primal part of you is kicking in of being under the judgment, the collective judgment of that many of your peers. Like you're in trouble if there's that many eyes on you. Social media does that here, but without the eyes. Like, yeah, you're still getting the judgment of many people every time you put something out there. And that's like showing your throat.
Aye, and they just get to be fucking anonymous with their fucking attacks.
Aye, there should never be a direct line into a stranger's inbox where you can say anything and it can't get traced back to you.
No, you shouldn't be allowed to anonymously say something to anyone except politicians. Like, I understand, I think death threats are important, but everyone a politician gets, fair enough. Well, not every politician, that's not true.
The thing with politicians is the best people aren't doing it, because if you want to be a politician, you're going to be a treacherous one.
Aye. I think it should be like Judy Dewey.
Aye.
And you just go, I've got to, fuck. I'm a Chancellor of the Exchequer. I don't even know what that means. I'm going to have to Google it.
I think I've got to do the budget. This is going to be lit.
No, because I think at that point, like, here's what would actually happen, right? If any of us were to find out that we're going to be Chancellor of the Exchequer next year, I'm going to go like, man, I'm going to have to ask some experts what to do here. And no politician has ever done that. Like, me as a member of the public, like, I'm going to be going like, oh God, like, I'm going to have to ask like a bunch of people. I'm probably going to get a team together for this. It's not just, hey, I went to school with him and now he's him.
I like that Matt Hancock guy. Like, he doesn't have a clue what he's doing. Like, you can see by his demeanour that he's fucking chancing it.
And he just gets away with it, man. I don't understand how he's like Mike Ashley for me in the sense. I'm like, I don't know how you get able to go out in public at all.
Like, do you have to be a psychopath?
But, like, how do you not... Are you not as hated as I think you're hated? Like, Matt Hancock can just go out to a pub and nothing goes wrong all the time.
And in his circles, is he surrounded by people who are just telling him he's great and that? Is he... Because Mike Ashley probably is. He's probably surrounded by a bunch of fucking guys like the Weatherspoons, man. He's probably like surrounded by this inner circle that like fucking have got some kind of string on his money, and he's got some level of power over them. So he probably walks through his life thinking he's class. Even though like there's a whole fucking city of people who fucking hate him. Right?
He doesn't.
And everybody else who knows what he's like by proxy, and anybody who knows the way he treats his staff and Sports Direct and all that, right? Like, everyone hates him. But in his bubble,
he's a sound guy.
I bet he sees himself as the fucking King Dingaling. He's got billions. People around him want a piece of it.
Has he got billions?
Aye.
Billions?
Aye.
Mike Ashley's got
billions.
billions.
A billionaire, aye.
God, that's way worse for you. So I thought the exciting thing was if you were getting taken over, that it was the fact that billionaires were coming in. I didn't realise it was just billionaires who were willing to spend their money. And look, hey mate, I know it's very anti-football, but as somebody who supports a team owned by an evil billionaire, it's fucking class.
I bet it is.
Oh man, do you know how many Champions Leagues we've won? Do you know how many European trophies we've won in the last 10 years? Oh God, look, yeah, we're racist.
Because I'm a bit older than you. I watched Chelsea the 10 years before that, and it wasn't looking great.
Aye,
he's had a couple of good footballers, Zola, Violi, like, he's all right.
I've watched all the highlight reels.
You've done your history lessons.
Aye. I'm going to pretend I was there for them.
It's so funny how, like, I will get on my fucking high horse about moral virtue and all that, but it's so funny when it comes to football. Like, I can blink at myself.
Aye.
Like the World Cup in Qatar. I understand. There's bloodshed to make them stadiums.
Oh yeah, like there's not only is there bloodshed to make the stadiums, but at no point should Qatar ever host the World Cup since it's not a footballing country.
There's slavery involved.
Aye.
There's people had their passports revoked so they have to work to live.
Aye, literal slave labour. People I think it's like an average of 4 people died per stadium, like fucking made.
Do you know the lie about the temperature?
Aye, because if it's over 50
if it's over 50, you're not allowed to work.
Aye.
So it's never been above 49.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's on the news because the government on the news there as well. That guy, it's...
Am I going to miss a kick of the ball at the World Cup?
No!
What the fuck
can't
is
wait to buy
that?
the stickers!
What the fuck is that?
Aye.
Why can't we just go, nah, we're not watching the one in Qatar.
Aye. I mean, we absolutely...
We're equipped with enough information.
Tell you what, if Scotland don't qualify, I certainly won't.
You still will.
No, maybe I won't. Maybe that'll be... Listen to me.
Daniel, it's going to be over the Christmas.
Why?
It's going to be in the festive period. Like, you know what? If the boycott gathered ahead of steam, I'd fucking jump on the cart. I'd bandwagon it. But I'm not going to be the only one quietly missing out on the World Cup.
Man, I would be the same as you, but I'm also, man, I'm happy. I would have the shirts. I'd be like, boycott the World Cup. I'm still watching every kick of the fucking ball.
Aye.
And I'm placing bets. And like, I'd have to do it on like a different account though, so people didn't know.
You're on the betting account knowing that millions of fucking lives are ruined because of gambling on your phone that you know was fucking made in a factory with suicide nets.
And you're like, bet aware, this is all so evil and I'm very much against it.
And you're like, how the fuck do I even navigate morally through this world? Right, I understand that the world is impossible to navigate through morally. You can do your best in it if you see it around, vegans, etc. Right, but even me escapism is immoral. That's how I escape from the world.
Aye. And well, I just lie about it. Just fucking we'll watch it. It's not our fault, man. It's like people that fucking complain about people that do coke and they go, oh, you know, the amount of vegans that do coke, right? You know, you're fine with you're not fine with what goes on with animals, but you're fine with fucking, you know, the amount of people that die in the coke trade. It's like, look, I would do legal coke if it was available, right? The reason the coke trade is as bad as it is isn't my fucking fault, and I bear no responsibility for it. Like, it could be made, if you were to legalise it and regulate it, all of that would fucking stop. You didn't. It's like piracy, right? You're never going to stop piracy. I want this movie. How are you going to get it to me? We're not. Right, I'll get it myself. You're never going to stop these things happening. You have to learn to like work with them to profit off of it, or...
Yeah, make it so that there's a justifiable way, that, like a way that you can do it above board. Like all these things you should be able to do above board.
Make it legal, or I'll find an illegal way to do it, and that's just the rules for most of the population.
Yeah, and I mean they've done it with smoking and gambling. Like these are things that shouldn't.
They can make money off of
these are things that shouldn't really be legal as far as like the way drugs aren't legal. They should be in the same bracket.
Well, no, we've got to have our freedoms, man. But there should just be more care.
I want more. I'm on your side. I want more freedoms. I think they should regulate a lot of it.
More freedoms with more aftercare, because again, that's what healthcare should be.
And
we're going too socialist at this point.
And I had all the taxes from the drug trade would be fucking. It would be able to sort out people that were having problems. But you know what?
Man, look, let's just go fucking jerk each other off with our libtard tears.
While watching the World Cup in Qatar.
Aye.
Look, we're all hypocrites. Is what I'm getting at.
But you the most.
All of us, me and you. I mean, I'm not talking to the listeners. They're fine.
Maybe we're there. We're like the evil thing that they listen to.
Oh, what would be the unethical thing about listening to Muggins and Cream?
Two more white men with a podcast. Like at no point,
well done propping up diversity, guys.
At no point should we have a platform, like let alone one that people pay to listen to.
Hold on, can I talk about this? Marlena, our agent, Gareth War's agent, put Gareth War up for.
I don't know if we can tell this one.
Can we not?
No.
Why?
I just don't think we can.
Okay, somebody else's agent.
No.
Put it. She claimed his ethnicity was Scottish on a thing.
Aye.
And
that's as far as we'll
that's
go.
as far as we're going to go.
Aye.
Yeah, but I'm not being Marlena. You're Scottish and ginger.
Aye.
Anyway, that is diversity.
Your dad shoves his hand up his own ass to use himself as a puppet to have the courage to ask your mum for 2 sugars in his tea.
Your dad booed the people that were booing the players taking the knee, but I'm not going to lie, it just sounded like he was joining in.
Your dad saw some neighbours growing their hair out long and then cutting it for kids going through chemo, and your dad was so inspired, and he's now growing out his toenails as long as he can.
To donate to cancer kids.
Aye.
Wow, Dad.
I don't think he gets it.
Nah, he doesn't. Definitely doesn't. I don't even think your toenails fall off when you have chemo.
I
don't know. I've not, honestly, never checked. But next time I see someone in a bandana, I'm going to fucking wrestle off the socks. Your dad gaslit me into thinking I was leading him on because I was constantly staring open-mouthed at his crotch.
Your dad mutes the news when a woman's doing it.
Your dad said he hoovered the entire house when all he really did was stand on the Roomba with a cup of coffee. Roomba. I left out the B, didn't I?
Yeah, it's fine.
Roomba.
Your dad is toxic to the postman.
I shook your dad's hand once and he tapped out.
Your dad measures the depth of the bath with his erection, and that's why you trained to be a lifeguard.
Your dad climbed into a marigold rubber glove with his arms and his legs and the fingers and his cock and the thumb, and he did all of the dishes in the bathtub while checking the depth. That was a podcast.
It was.
And Thursday's episode is going to be you and Colin.
Aye.
Yep. So.
And don't worry, listeners, we'll not be listening to his side of the argument because nobody cares.
No one has ever cared. No one reads his messages. They're too long. Right, bye.
Bye.